Welcome back to our special coverage of Decision 2006 Battleground America. Okay, let's assume the Democrats will control Congress in November, and it certainly looks that way now. Now let's imagine a world where people like Nancy Pelosi and John Conyers hold the future of our nation in their hands. Here to help us ponder that terrifying probability, our old pal from Air America Radio, Rachel Maddow, joining us from New York.
Hi, Tucker.
Rachel.
Nice to see you.
Great to see you. What's the first thing, apart from nationalizing the railroads and passing the transgender amendment, Democrats are going to do when they take power?
Well, I mean, there's a lot to get to right away. We have to make everybody get gay married, and we have to ban the Bible, and we have to send you to Guantanamo. But after we, get rid of the first tier order of business, I mean, there are
going to be some subpoenas headed to the White House, aren't there? Well, I mean, let's be honest.
Maybe there will be. I mean, it's possible that Democrats will take both houses. It's likely, I think, that they'll take one house. That's not such a crazy situation. I mean, since Bush has been president, there was a period of time when the Democrats controlled the Senate and the world didn't end. It's not like the entire country or even our entire political system will change. I don't think you should expect a dramatic change in governing.
No, I don't. And it'll still be, I mean, look, one thing Republicans have sort of learned and should have learned a long time ago is it's very hard to govern with a small majority, and Democrats will have to face the same problem, and everybody knows the drill. But the subpoena power, I believe, is a big deal, and there's quite a bit of pent-up frustration on the left, certainly on the activist left. People are really mad at Bush, which is one of the reasons Republicans are about to eat it in the midterm. So I'm serious. There are going to be investigations instigated by House Democrats. Will there not be?
Well, I mean, it's possible that there will be. I can't say that there will or won't with any certainty, but I do think that you have to consider what it is that Democrats are running on. Democrats are running right now trying to make this a referendum on the incumbent Congress. They know that if they do get one or two houses of the Congress, that it's basically an audition for winning the White House back in 2008. So they're going to do everything they can to draw a line, to make a distinction between what the incumbent Republican Congress have done and what they have done. And so they'll try to make a real clear break with the previous Congress whenever way they can. That might be subpoenas. I think it's more likely to be stuff like raising the minimum wage and trying to implement the 9/11 commissions and the 9/11 commission recommendations and some more substantive stuff like that.
So, I mean, in 1994, the last time there was a dramatic turnover, and look, we don't know what's going to happen in 2 months, but, again, I think everybody on both sides expects Democrats to do well. But last time this happened, the Republicans had this battle plan and this list of promises, the contract with America. In the first, 100 days, we're going to do this, and the other thing. Are Democrats going to roll one out? You just mentioned the minimum wage, the 9/11 commission recommendations, whatever those were. Is that it, or anything else?
Well, I mean, the awkward thing about the legacy and the analogy of the Congress with the Contract for America history is that the Republicans didn't actually do any of those things they said they were going to do. They didn't keep any of those promises.
No, actually they did. I mean, some of them, maybe you could say that some of them weren't worth doing. I mean, there were a lot of procedural changes.
Yeah.
But they did. I mean, they actually did do them. And whether they made a difference is another question. Are Democrats going to promise to do something in the first 100 days specific, do you think?
Well, it depends on how big their majority is, and it depends on whether they get both houses of Congress. But I do think you should watch for a rise in the minimum wage, at least trying to get that.
Yes.
I think you should watch for a rise in gas mileage standards. I think they will try to get that and try to make that into a national security dependence on foreign oil issue. I think you should watch for trying to implement the 9/11 Commission recommendations, and that means some very specific national security stuff. Some pet issues of the Democrats on national security are trying to get shoulder-fired missiles off the markets around the country, trying to deal with chemical security, which is chemical plant security, which is still not regulated at all. I mean, they've made some promises about those 9/11 Commission recommendations that are very substantive.
And give me just in 20 seconds, Howard Dean all of a sudden will be in control of a governing party, an actual governing party. Even you're upset by that possibility, are you not? Let's be honest.
Well, I mean, who's scarier, Ken Melman or Howard Dean? They're both boogeymen.
Oh, come on.
Anybody standing in the middle of the country looking at both those guys has to be equally scared by both of them. I mean, Dean has been made into this boogeyman. Everybody tries to make his Iowa scream, his whole legacy politically. But Ken Melman is kind of frightening, too. I mean, these guys end up running the political party. They don't end up running the country.
Rachel Maddow, who will end up running the country should the Democrats win. So keep that in mind, America. Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you, Tucker. I'll be sending you to Guantanamo when I am in charge.
Our coverage of Battleground America continues in just a moment.